Hello everyone, welcome to 2026. I am Daryl, the Northern Vinyl Guy, and I'm coming at you with a vinyl tag. I know that there are a few going around the VC, but I thought I would try one out myself to start off the 2026 year. This one is the Canadian Stereotype vinyl tag, so stay tuned and check out the prompts after the break. Hello, this is Daryl, the Northern Vinyl Guy, coming at you with my first video of 2026. I am a few days shy of my the start of my third year in the VC, so this is exciting. And I thought I would just start off my third year by doing a cool vinyl tag, and it's based on the I Am Canadian rant that was done a few years ago for the Molson Canadian commercials. So what I'm going to do is I am going to post the 16 prompts down below. So like I said, I'm going to have 16 prompts, and you can try them out, make your own video, and hopefully you can come up with 16 albums of your own to meet these prompts. So let's get started with prompt number 1. So the very first lyrics to the rant were, "I'm a lumberjack, not a fur trader." So what I want you to do is to show a pioneer music album or a folk music album. And you know, you don't have to do this with Canadian albums, but obviously if it's a Canadian Stereotype video, try to use Canadian bands and artists whenever possible. I'm gonna go with a real pioneer in Canadian music industry. I would argue most people have not heard of this guy, Barney McCracken, but this is Songs of the Sourdough, and he actually had his own label. So he is associated, if you can see, you know, with mining and lumberjacks and all kinds of different things from the pioneer days, the late 1800s, early 1900s, you know, the Yukon, California gold rush type thing. And so, yeah, Songs of the Sourdough. And these are just, like I said, these are mainly like folk-ish pioneer music. You know, the Lament of the Cree, the Man from Skinner's Pond, Drum of the Old Gods, Ballad of Sunshine Mine. So, you know, sitting around the fire type music. So, yes, show a folk album or a pioneer album. The next set of lyrics in the rant go, "I don't live in an igloo, eat blubber, or own a dog sled." So whether that's PC or not, I'm not 100% sure. But what I want you to do is, based on those lyrics, Canada is associated typically with cold environments and stuff like that, which is, you know, 50% true when you think about the stereotypes up in the north, but in the southern parts of Canada, border of the United States and southern Ontario, it does get pretty warm in those months. So, you know, show something cold. This is a band that I've shown a few times from Greenland, speaking of cold locations, called Nanook, which basically translates to polar bear or bear in the Greenlandic language. And so you can see there's a polar bear up there and ice mountains, and some colder stalagmites at the bottom. On the label itself, you could see the polar bear right there and some icebergs. So yeah, this is a cool band, rock band from Greenland, and they sing in the Greenlandic language. So I've talked about them. You can see right there, most of the songs, if not all of them, are in Greenlandic. And of course, once again, the mountainside with the stalagmites and stalactites. Really cool stuff. Check them out if you have not. I had to order my copy from Greenland, a place called Atlantic Records in Greenland. Prompt number 3. And I don't know Jimmy, Sally, or Suzie from Canada, though I'm sure they're really nice. So as a stereotype goes, apparently because Canada is, I don't know, small. It's not small. We'll talk about that later. Second largest country in the world. But apparently we've got small, tight-knit communities, and apparently we know everyone, including Tom, Dick, and Harry, Jimmy, Sally, or Suzie, Joe, those people. So what I want you to do is to show an album by someone that goes by the name Jimmy, Sally, or Suzie. Could also include the name James if Jimmy goes by James. Or you could show an album by a Tom, a Dick, a Harry, or a person named Joe. So I'm going to go with, instead of Jimmy, I'm going to go with James. And we'll show some James Taylor here. And this is a compilation. It's got California in My Mind, Fire and Rain, Sweet Baby James, his greatest hits right there on an album. Fantastic stuff. So James Taylor. Next, I have a prime minister, not a president. That is correct. A lot of people assume that Canada has a president. We don't. We have a prime minister. And a totally different parliament system, though we are a democracy. So for this prompt, I want you to show a record about a politician, or a song about a politician, or a political cause of some sort. So it could be a protest that was done, or some kind of a record that was written for a cause. So I'm going to show this one. Bruce Hornsby and The Range, The Way It Is. And I'm going to focus on the title track here, The Way It Is, which is, a song about different social issues and educating people on those, and kind of an encouragement for the government to try to make change regarding homelessness or racism and things like that. And of course, this album and most of Bruce Hornsby's music, I've talked about it. I've done a deep dive of his 3 albums with The Range. But they deal with a lot of social, political stuff. So this one here has On the Western Skyline, Every Little Kiss, Mandolin Rain, which is an amazing track, The Long Race, The Way It Is, The Wild Frontier, etc., etc. So Bruce Hornsby and The Range, always singing for a cause or political, betterment of society. Number 5, I speak English and French, not American. This is a funny stereotype. The reality is that there is only one bilingual province in Canada, that being New Brunswick. The average Canadian, I would argue, does not speak both English and French fluently. I live in Ontario, right beside the province of Quebec. I do not speak French. I understand it a bit, but I'm not bilingual. So what I would like you to do is, you are not going to be showing an album that is in English per se. It can have English in it. But what I want you to do is to show a Duolingo or a bilingual song, so to speak. So a song that has 2 or more spoken languages in it. Or if you can't find that, but you have a song solely in French, which is Canada's second language, show an album of that nature. So I'm gonna do a twofer on this one, or show 2. So the first one is, I'm gonna show Madonna's True Blue album, which has La Isla Bonita, which is sung both in English and in Spanish lyrics. So yes, Madonna's La Isla Bonita from the True Blue album. But I'd also like to show some Gilles Valaquette, a French-Canadian musician. I believe he's out of either Montreal or Quebec City. I can't remember. And most of the songs that are on here are in French. I think actually all of them are in French. Basically, chanson pour un café. So cafe songs, or sit-down cafe songs. And there's a cool song in here my grandmother used to listen to when I was younger, called Je suis cool, which means I'm cool. And this is a cool thread. So once again, try to give it a try. Songs that are Duolingo. All right. Number 6, I pronounce it about, not about. I don't know any Canadians that say about. So what I'd like you to do for this stereotype is to show an album in which there is either a boot, so the boot that you wear on your foot, or some other form of footwear on the cover or in the lyrics or the title of a song. I'm going to show Canadian folk singer Valdy from his Family Gathering album, and you can see right there he is on the shore of the beach, shore of the lake, and he's wearing his boots, probably to go fishing or something along those lines. Valdy, like I said, cool Canadian musician, and he is known on this album for his rock and roll song would be the single from this one, Family Gathering, with Boots on His Feet. Number 7, I proudly sew my country's flag on my backpack. Well, the Canadian flag is in red and white, and it has a red maple leaf in the middle. So for this prompt, I want you to show an album cover that is either mainly red, mainly white, or a combination of the two colors in predominant colors, so a red or white. Or you can show an album cover that has a maple leaf on it. So I'm going to show this, the swing era, the music of 1944, 1945. This was a record box set that my grandfather owned. As you can see, this is in predominantly red, but the record in the background and the couple that are dancing on there are in red or white. And this particular one here has like Tommy Dorsey, Count Basie, Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, lots of swing music on it. It is a 6-disc set. So show albums that are in red or white or a combination of both or with a maple leaf. All right, prompt number 8. I believe in peacekeeping, not policing. This one was a little tricky, but what I want you to do is show a song that is peaceful or is about peace or has, say, peace in the title. I have the John Lennon collection, greatest hits here. And why don't we focus on track number 1, which is Give Peace a Chance. Give Peace a Chance from 1969. Fantastic song, along with Imagine and Instant Karma. Happy Xmas, War is Over is on this one. So those are all songs that deal with peace or a peaceful theme. Okay, number 9. Diversity, not assimilation, is the line from the rant. So what I want you to do for this line is to show a band that are either biracial, multi-ethnic, or consist of members from more than one country. Canada is a very multicultural, diverse nation. So yes, show a band that is either biracial, multicultural, or have members from multiple nations. So I'm going to show Santana. The original lineup even had like Neil Sean and stuff like that in them. Of course, Carlos Santana is of Mexican-American descent. And this is the Amigos album. Really cool artwork on there. And just some really neat like Latin classic rock vibes from Carlos Santana and company. Prompt number 10. And that the beaver is truly proud and a noble animal. So the stereotype is that Canada is made up of mainly beavers and moose and animals that are from the cold. But I'm focusing on the noble animal part here. So I want you to show a song, band name, album cover, which would feature a noble or trustworthy animal in it. So for example, the eagle is considered a very noble animal or bird, I guess, in the United States and other parts of the world. So the eagles and the long run. But at the same time, in many northern countries, Canada, Greenland, Scandinavia, the bear or the polar bear, you can kind of see a polar bear's face there. If you are struggling to see it on there, what I will do is this is Nanook again. I talked about them earlier, but right there is the polar bear. A beautiful animal, very noble. I wouldn't want to come across one that is hungry, very dangerous, but very noble. And that also could include mythical animals as well if you want, dragons or just different types of mythical animals. So whatever ones you think are noble. All right, prompt number 11. A toque is a hat. A Chesterfield is a couch. So yes, we definitely use the word toque a lot. There's a band called Toque in Canada. I've never really heard anybody say Chesterfield before. We do use couch and stuff like that. But what I'd like you to do for this prompt, show an album with someone wearing something on their head, or you can show an album with someone sitting on either a couch or a chair. So I'm going to kind of show two examples of this. This is 10cc's How Dare You album. And as you can see, the lady here is sitting on one of those old 1970s tacky looking chairs, and he's sitting in the nice, probably pleather or leather chair on there. So we got some 10cc in the chairs. Or coming back to Canada with Kim Mitchell, and he is wearing a baseball cap, and if you can see the crest that is on it, says OPP, which is the Ontario Provincial Police Force, which mans a lot of Ontario communities. We also have the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and many, many city and town police. And we also have NAPS in Ontario, which is the Anishinaabe Police Force for Indigenous people. Number 12, prompt number 12. And it is pronounced Z, not Z. Z. Show two albums, one in which the first letter of the band name starts with the letter A, or if you're going with the artist name, the first letter of their last name starts with the letter A. And then you need to show a second album, which represents the letter Z, in which the first letter of the band name is either the Z or the first letter of their last name is a Z. So for this one, for the letter A, I'm going to go with Bryan Adams. And this is the Into the Fire album, which is the follow-up to Reckless, his big one with Summer of '69 and stuff on it. But this one also had some pretty cool songs on it. Heat of the Night, Victim of Love, Into the Fire was a good one, Remembrance Day, Hearts on Fire. So Bryan Adams is the letter A, because everybody apparently in Canada says A, which most of us do. And then the letter Z. So I'm going to go with a musician out of the province of Quebec called Zappacosta. And this one here is the A to Z album. That's the title of it, A to Z. So it fits the theme. And Nothing Can Stand in Your Way. Nothing Could Stand in Your Way, which is on side A, was the big hit here in Canada from this album. So if you haven't heard of Alfie Zappacosta, give him a shot. Number 13, prompt 13. Canada is the second largest landmass. This one's pretty straightforward. I want you to show a song or a song title or lyrics to a song that discuss either a Canadian place, a Canadian geographical feature, a Canadian landform region, a Canadian famous landmark, any of those things. So I am going to go with Tom Cochrane and the song Life is a Highway. And he talks about Vancouver in the lyrics to the song. So Vancouver being the largest city in the province of British Columbia. So Tom Cochrane and Life is a Highway with its Canadian location in it. For prompt number 14, the lyrics to the rant go, the First Nation of Hockey. So what I would like you to do is to show an album cover or song lyric that has or depicts any Canadian sports team from any of the major sports leagues in which a Canadian team plays in. So this could be Major League Baseball, it could be the National Hockey League, Major League Soccer or MLS, it could be the Canadian Football League, it could be the Canadian Hockey League, the CHL, the CFL, or the National Lacrosse League, NLL. So we got the Toronto Rock there. Obviously in the NHL, we got the Toronto Maple Leafs, we got the Vancouver Canucks, we got the Edmonton Oilers, the Calgary Flames. You pick a Canadian team from any major sports league in North America, apologize, and show an album cover. So I got a couple that kind of meet the sports theme, not necessarily the sports team name, but I mean, I couldn't do this sports one without talking about the hockey song from Stompin' Tom, and of course this would be the Toronto Maple Leaf jersey, and this one here in the red and white would be the Montreal Canadiens logo, and it has the famous hockey song, which is often played at Canadian hockey games. And of course I also have a 45. This is the OK Blue Jays Let's Play ball, but there's the Blue Jay on the cover of this 45. So, you know, if you had an album that had a Blue Jay on the cover, or a Maple Leaf on the cover, or a Flame on the cover, whatever it is, that would be hockey teams. But pick a Canadian sports team. You'll have to do a little research on that one. All right, number 15. This is the second to last question. And the best part of North America. My name is Joe, and I am Canadian. So in a previous question, I allowed you to use the name Joe. So I've put that up for, I think it was question number 2. You can use the word Joe, the name Joe in there. But for question number 15, I want you to either show the 24th album that is in your collection alphabetically, or you can choose a song or an album that has either beer or whiskey in it, because apparently Canadians are big drinkers, and the I Am Canadian rant was from a beer advertisement. So a 2-4 in Canada is a case of beer, for example. The 24th album in my collection alphabetically is Air Supply's Lost in Love, which the title track is the big one from this, but of course Every Woman in the World, All Out of Love. Those are some other ones here from this Australian band. Or you could go with, like I said, the beer and whiskey theme. There is a song on here, speaking of Canadian bands, the Rovers, or the Irish Rovers. This is the No More Bread and Butter album, and there's the title track actually has a lyric on it that says no more whiskey or beer in it. Goodbye to lasagna. I hope I've made myself clear. And that brings us to the final prompt, which in the song lyric, the rant, he actually just says straight up thank you at the end. So what I want you to do is to show either a sincere or apologetic song, or a polite song. Apparently Canadians are known for saying sorry and being polite and positive. So I'm going to go with Elton John and the Blue Moves album, which is a 2-disc set, and the song is Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word. That's right, sorry seems to be the hardest word. So you choose on that one, whatever song you think sounds apologetic. It could be sorry, it could be thank you, it could be whatever it is that you feel makes the song seem polite or thankful or apologetic. Go with that. All right, so those are the 16 prompts. I hope that I didn't take too long on this tag, but I'd like you to give it a shot. Let me know your thoughts on it. I hope that you all participate. If you're new to my channel, please give me the thumbs up, click the subscribe button. And as always, I always say this, if you are a returning customer, always thank you for your support. And I hope that you all have a positive 2026 year. Like I said at the beginning, this is my first video of 2026, and I hope to do quite a few more. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will also link the questions down below as well. And until next time, take care everyone, and cheers.